Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Paper Crafting Saturday. I'm Leslie Watkins. So how is everybody? I hope you're having a nice weekend so far. This cute little pillow box was made with a die. I'll show you the die. It looks like this, and it comes with a die to not only cut out the pretty pillow box, but also to score all these different areas on it. You get a nice tag die, which I like quite a bit, and there's a pretty label in here, and then you've got some various die cut elements that you can use to dress it up a little bit. So there's a label, there are dies that will punch holes to pass a ribbon through, and there are some kind of ornate lacy bits. And you get a collection of these very cute flowers. So there's 3 different sizes, so that could be a lot of fun to decorate the pillow box. And I thought it would be really fun to make something with the pillow box today to get ready for Easter, because I bet some of you have little chocolate treats and candy corn and all sorts of goodies that you'd like to share with people. And this little box makes it really easy to do that. So I'll give you a close up. There we go. So here I have the box, and I used the Celebration Marvelous paper, which I like very much. And I have the tag here, and you could glue on a little piece of very vanilla or basic white so that you could put a message on there. And I also used the very pretty lacy design for the flap here. And so I think purple and yellow are nice Easter colors. So I used the kind of purpley violet color to make the box, and then I added some of the ruched Daffodil Delight yellow ribbon, which I love. And if you'd like to get your hands on some of this, this is now on the last chance list. So I think you can get this for a pretty good price, maybe about $3 or something. And it's a very, very pretty, I think you can see the beautiful little ruching, if that's a word, going on there. So it's all sort of puckery and pretty, and it ties very nicely. So, oh, and I also use some of the linen thread to adhere the tag to there. So very simple to make. All of the work is really done for you. You do need to have a die cutting machine, and if that is something that you're interested in getting and you don't have one, contact me, because I can show you how you can save some considerable money on getting that when you join my design team. So let me know if that's of interest to you. And if you do decide to get a die cutting machine, you will be able to do many, many, many paper crafting projects, including embossing, so creating textured papers and putting images on papers, all sorts of good things. So that's another video, but we will be using that today, so you'll have a chance to see how that goes. So the other thing I wanted to mention that I'm also going to be using today is I got so much wonderful comments and questions about this card that I made. So I'm going to be doing a box to match this card today. And I also want to let you know that if you would like to get this stamp set and die bundle, if you use the host code that you see on the screen right now, you will get a free class on how I made these and how to make some other projects. So I will also put that host code below with a link that will take you right to the online store where you can get the bundle. And And I will show that again before the end of the video. Hopefully I remember to do that. So that this is going to be our inspiration. And this is what that bundle looks like. So you see you've got the really pretty daffodil stamps here, which I'll be painting very soon in an upcoming video. And you also have all of these dies. And this is a really big die set. There are 24 in here. So you can make several different daffodils. You can cut these two things out. There's also an adorable butterfly. And it's just there's a lot of potential with this set. So if you like daffodils, if you like doing paper sculpture, if you like painting with ink or with watercolor, this bundle really kind of has it all. So again, here's that host code. So if you'd like to get that, use this host code, and you will also get a free class from me showing you how to make a number of different projects, including how I made this card. Okay, I think that's about it. Oh, one more thing. I have a stamp set here. This is another celebration item, and it has, what I like about these sentiments is that they're small enough to fit on that tag. So let's see. I'm using this one. It says, "I have something for you," and so this is the special moments. But you could use any sentiment set that you happen to have that will fit that tag, or just write your message freehand. Let's not forget that we can do that. That we we don't have to do everything with stamps all the time. So instead of using the Simply Marvelous paper, this time I'm going to be using some very vanilla paper for my pretty pillow box, and then I've got some of the soft sea foam to use for my tag. So let's get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out so I can show you how that works. It's a big machine and it's extremely heavy duty. It will last you for many, many years worth of die cutting and embossing, and it's extremely simple to use. So the first thing, I just want to get these little bits off of here. Over time, your cutting plates will get looking like this, and that's perfectly okay. You can buy new ones, they're readily available, but these old beat up ones will work just fine. And all you're going to do is put your paper in there, grab your die, and I'm going to line this up over to the side so I can cut out my tag at the same time. And also, I didn't mention, but this little die here can be used to cut out a window. So if you wanted to put some vellum or some window sheets, acetate, you could do that, and then you could see what the contents of the box are, which could be a lot of fun to do, especially for kids in Easter. So here's my tag, and this time I think I just want to keep it simple. I'm not going to use the lacy die cut. I'm not going to use this one because I like the way these daffodil dies work with just a very kind of simple and light treatment, just a light touch. So I'm just lining this all up, and you can see that this little shape fits perfectly inside this scalloped edge so that you know exactly where to place it to get your two little holes to pass the ribbon through. So I'm just going to scooch that over a little bit. So it's nice and snug. That looks good. All right, and then I'm just going to pass that through. If it makes a little bit of noise, that's okay. And then you just remove these things. And there's your pillow box and your tag, and it even cuts out the hole in the tag for the ribbon to pass through. And I want my tag to be two-toned, so I'm going to send this back through one more time using the soft seafoam color. So here we go. Very simple. And that's all there is to it. And this is a lot of the dies have some special design around the edges. So if you wanted to get, for instance, a stitched rectangle or a circle or squares, anything for your projects, these there's a lot of different dies available that you can use. And the more intricate dies that you get will save you hours and hours of trying to fussy cut things out. So the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is a great time saver. So now what I want to do is I'm going to get my stamping done. So for that I'm using crumb cake. I just want to keep it kind of soft and neutral. Grab my stamp pad. And I just re-inked this, so I think this is going to be very juicy. That looks fine. And get that on there as straight as I can. Just a light press, and there's my sentiment. Just as quick and as easy as that, and it looks really pretty. All right, so that is my cutting and stamping done for today. The rest is just going to be assembly and decorating, and I've already done some of that ahead of time just to save a little bit of time. Now, when you assemble your pretty pillow box, you'll see that there are some score marks on here already. So I'm just going to begin by just doing the straight scores, just giving them a light finger fold. I'm not using my bone folder for this. I just want it to sort of coax it into shape. All right. And then what I can do is I can use my bone folder to sort of curve it a little bit. And this is a little bit tricky to do, but let's see if I can do it from side to side. So if you just do it from sides first, you can begin to coax that box into shape a little bit. And also on the flap. All right. And then you're going to gently press the side panels that are curved and just get that started a little bit. Don't force it. Just very lightly. And by the way, this little pillow box die also works beautifully on DSP. So if you have some pretty patterned paper that you want to use for your project, then that will work beautifully for this. The other thing I want to do is I want to get my glue dots out. Looking for my glue dots. They're hiding here somewhere. Well, I have a couple. I have a couple on this little piece. I know they're around here somewhere. I was just using them, and as usual, they have hidden themselves from view. And this goes together like this. So what I like to do is I like to take the, well, you have to decide, what do you want for the front of your box? So depending on which way is front, you want to fold your flaps to the back. So I'm going to use the flap side as the front. So what you do is just sort of gently hold the box together like this and then pinch the corners. And that's going to help to lock those side panels into shape. Just give it a gentle pinch on the score lines, and then your box will really begin to take shape. Now once you've done that, I would recommend taking a glue dot and just putting that like so, and give it a little bit of a squeeze, and that's going to hold your box nicely. So very easy to put together, and you don't need a lot of adhesive. In fact, if you fold it really well, you don't need any adhesive at all, but I think that the glue dots really help to keep its shape. So that's adorable. And here's an example, by the way, of that stitching. If I hold this to the light, you see that little beautiful stitching detail that the dies cut out, which make it even cuter. All right, and then next what I want to do with my tag is I'm just going to laminate the two pieces together so it's nice and sturdy. There we go. I have some linen thread here, and I'm just going to cut off about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 inches. Oops. It's very curly because it's a new roll. I'm going to loop that around, pass that loop through my tag, and pull it through. Very cute shape for a tag. All right, so now all that's left to do is to decorate. So I have my box of die cuts, zoom you out a little bit, ready to go. So I have a couple of things that I have pre-assembled. So here's one of the daffodils. I've got a bud and a couple of leaves. You could also add on that cute butterfly. I may do that later. I don't have one cut out right now, but I may do that later. And then I've got my ruched ribbon. So I'm just going to pass the ribbon through the holes I cut out, and I'm going to wrap it around so that the bow is going to be in the middle between these two holes. Okay, so just like that. And I'm going to add a little knot on my tag because I'm going to pass the ribbon right through the linen thread, so I can just trim that excess off. So it looks something like that. All right, And you may be wondering, well, what's going to fit inside this box? And it just so happens I have these adorable Easter bunnies. They are Ghirardelli milk chocolate caramel Easter bunnies, and two of them fit perfectly inside the box. So I'm going to get those inside. So there they are. And I'm going to take my tag, and you know what? I'm not sure which way I want this to show. So I'm going to start with just having the green side up. I could always change that later, but I think that'll be pretty with the rest of the elements that I'm putting on here. Make sure I have my ribbon going nicely around the back. Just pull that closed. Okay, now that's cute just as is, but I'm going to add a little bit more to it to make it extra special. But I love that. Here's my little tag, so it could go either way. It looks great either way. You've got all this area that you could decorate if you chose to, but I'm going to concentrate on this side today. So I'm just going to trim off my tails a little bit so that they look a little neater. And then, let's see, these are kind of a good size. Maybe I will put those on the back. I think I will. All right, so that change of plan. I'm going to put my daffodils on the back of the box because they're a little bit bigger. So let me get my dimensionals out. I'm using up all my scraps here. And I'm going to trim that. So I'm just sort of making a little indent with my thumbnail. I'm going to trim that stem off and get my liquid glue. First, I'm going to grab a dimensional and put that right in the center, like so. And then add a little bit of glue on the stem, and you can just sort of spread that around so it's nice and flat. Same thing with my bud. A little bit of glue on there on the stem. Just want to blot off some of the excess, make sure I don't have a mess. Put this one down underneath, like so. Snip off the excess. Alright, and then I think I'll have a leaf going the other way. So something like that. I forgot to check to make sure that I was recording. I was so excited to get going on my project here. Let's make sure that everything's working. There we go. Okay, good. Phew. Oh, hello, everybody. Jocelyn, Teresa from New Orleans. Thank you so much on the color choices. Yeah, I really love these very soft kind of ethereal colors. I think they work very well with the daffodils. Penny, Becky, Beverly, we've got people from across the country here today. So nice to see you all. Yay. Ginger, yeah, 12 o'clock, Ginger. I did start a little bit earlier today, so that would be, so Ginger's in California, so that would be 9 o'clock your time, Ginger. You just set your alarm. Sometimes I remember to put the notification that I'm going to be going live on that particular day, but a lot of times I'm getting ready with the project, getting prepared, and I get carried away and I just forget about everything else. So if you would just keep in mind that it's generally at 12 noon, although I do have an announcement to make, which is that in a few weeks, the Paper Crafting Saturday will be moving to an earlier time temporarily because I'm going to be taking a calligraphy class, and the class I'm taking starts at 12 noon. So I'll talk more about that as we get closer to the date. But it's going to be for about 5 or 6 weeks that the time will change, and who knows? Maybe that'll be a time that works out better for everybody. All right, so there is a leaf, and I'm not sure if we need another leaf or not. I do kind of like that. Okay, one more leaf. And then there were some embellishments. I'm gonna, like I said earlier, I'm gonna keep this very, very simple because I love the simplicity with these daffodil dies. But we do have, and I'm trying to remember, was it the genial gems that have a very soft pale green, which could look very pretty with this? So that's an idea. Okay, so let's just trim that last one. Neaten this one up a little bit. There we go. Let me clear the deck here so you can see, and I'll give you a close-up. So there is the very pretty pillow box that holds two adorable Ghirardelli Easter bunnies. I'm sure you could find all sorts of other goodies to put in there. In fact, if anybody decides to make one of these, I'd love to know what you do put in there, so you can put that in the comments. I love the coordinating tag that goes with this. I think it's so cute. It's such a nice shape. It's kind of a square, but it's got those little scallops on it. It's just perfect. And then of course you could also play with those other dies that have the little flowers on them that comes with the pretty pillow box. So I hope you enjoyed that. And actually, as I put it here in front of me, I see that that back flap is kind of propping the box up really nicely. It would make a terrific table setting. So if you're having folks over for Easter brunch, which would be very nice, or whatever your occasion may be. This would make an adorable addition to the place setting. So there it is. Here's the card I did earlier. Okay. And if you would like instructions on making all of these things, please use the host code and you can get a free class on how I made all these things and more. And you can use that to get your own bundle with the daffodils stamps and dies. So that's my show for today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. I love seeing you all here. And I think that's just about it. So stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.